Okay, what I wanted to do was talk a little bit about Made in America. That's the title of this video. Give you a quick idea and a quick rundown on how we build our water jets. Take you through the process, quite exciting, right through to the factory, the sheets of plate being welded, through to fabrication, bending, heat stress relieving, sandblasting, machining, painting, and of course getting back to the final assembly of the machine. As far as the unit goes, this is the X or the XA system. You'll notice the how we actually bring the high pressure tubing and all the plumbing, all the air, everything comes through here. That allows us to run everything across the back. Again, the whole thing about the 13 foot, being able to take a Z carriage, park it in the 13th foot, completely out of the way of your 12 foot of travel. So this being an 813, we're able to get a full 8 foot of travel by 12 foot with one head. Park the second Z carriage off, and and we are able to still cover that full sheet. You'll notice a couple of things. I'll just bring these two Z carriages closer together. If I was positioning this, it would be really easy to do, but you'll notice we have different style mini hoppers. This particular Z carriage has got a height sensor so that it'll automatically adjust for the height. Here's a crash sensor. We can run this at full speed straight into anything and it'll shut it down. And we're about to launch a combination height sensor and crash sensor. The laser alignment guide, our hand valves right on the front, all our shielding. These are at the moment being tested. Our solenoids and everything on there. Our pressure gauge right on the crossbeam itself. What I wanted to do is just show you what's inside here. Okay, so this cover just comes off really easily. You can see where your all your electrical connections are. Everything's labeled inside here. And the idea is that the XA is ready to be upgraded to a full 5-axis capacity machine. All we do is we pull this out, put a different control in here, run the different cables, run it something different through here, different controller, and we're into 5-axis. What I also want to show you is how easy it is to be able to pull the covers off the side to maintain and service the machine. I'm just going to jog it to the back and we'll go and take a cover off over there. Okay, so here we have a side cover. If you needed to service it, it's really easy. There's two bolts here. You just undo the bolts and pop it right off. That's very light fiberglass. And now we have total access to everything that you need inside the mechanism, the linear rails, the motors, the gearboxes, the belts, the ball screw. Everything's just instantly available and it takes less than a minute to take the cover off. Let's go and have a much closer look at different things here. Okay, one of the things we always do is mount our controllers. Very easy to move around, right around the table. But I wanted to show you over here, again, just a bit of a close-up on how we do the plumbing. You'll see that we've got the high pressure tubing coming in here, air connections, electric, everything is just a plug-in. And if you come around and I don't know if you can see underneath, everything will be finished off. Your cabling goes inside the junction, into the riser. All your high pressure tubing comes across the back. Everything will be plug and play. You can just quick disconnect anything you like and pull it out. Very easy. And there's our high pressure tubing and everything's ready for 4 sets of cutting heads if you ever want to go that far. Let's go and have a look at some of this being built. All right, we're going to have a little bit more of an in-depth look at the various components that make up the water jet and flip over to videos of it physically being fabricated here in the States. If we take a good look at the side beam to start with, it is made out of 3/8 wall, 8-inch by 3-inch tubes. There are 2 tubes and then they are welded onto a 3/4 inch plate that goes right across the whole base of it. You'll see in the fabrication, it's all welded. It then goes into heat stress relieving into the ovens. That's why it has that rusted appearance on it. It's the change in the temperature, totally de-stresses, comes out, goes into sandblasting. From sandblasting, we'll go through to machining. From machining, we'll go to powder coating, and of course from powder coating lands up here, and here's the finished product now ready to be put and assembled onto the machine. The same, well, if we just have a look at the end of a section, this gives you a good idea of what's under the covers. Again, your 2 tubular sections, your 3/4 inch plate. We put some pretty heavy duty bars across the top. All this is done and then heat stress relieved at the same time. If we look at the riser, it goes through really the same process. 1/2 inch thick material, again welded, fabricated. We have some very nice jigging and fixturing that allows a welder to be able to rotate this entire riser so that the weld is always presented to the part is always presented to the welder such that we get the best flow and the best weld. The jig itself ensures that everything is absolutely square and straight every single time that we assemble it. Do the full weld, again go through the whole process, heat stress relieving, sandblasting, from sandblasting to machining, powder coating, ready for fabrication. Again, the same thing with the crossbeam. Crossbeam, we do have jigs and fixtures which allow us to ensure that everything is fabricated just right. What we try to do is take out any potential possibility of human error. We don't want to see a tape measure used ever. Everything needs to be jigged, everything needs to be fixtured, everything needs to be held in place and then be able to be measured from there on. So again, pretty heavy duty tubing and plate, welds. The beams themselves are too long to go into the oven, so we have on the floor, so that has to be shipped out to Toledo or to Youngstown for the stress relieving, then comes back and goes into powder coating. Okay, again the tank. All the different areas to try and be able to keep control of the price and the quality of everything that we build. We make the whole front section, it's all welded up, it's first bent, then welded, and we stack up the fronts, the backs and the ends. The fronts are the same on all our machines, no matter whether you get a 6 or a 8 or a 40-foot machine, the same with the backs. What changes is the sides. So we can pre-make the sides and from there just drop them into position. Again, fixturing, the whole tank comes together, templates for everything, so every single tank is exactly the same. From here goes into the paint booth, where it takes longer to paint than it does to fabricate it. As we put multiple layers of an epoxy coat, we have to bake the tanks under controlled humidity and temperature. And that's really the core components that go into making a machine that make up the Wardjet.